We got off to the best possible start here in Season 2 of our Norwich City career mode. After strengthening the squad in a number of key areas with some Premier League level talent, we went on to record narrow victories over each of our first 3 opponents, including our home opener at Carrow Road, which means at this incredibly early stage of the season, we find ourselves top of the Premier League. That could all be about to change though. We currently have 3 games to get to in today's episode, and they each present a unique and far more difficult challenge than in our opening episode. We will host Liverpool at Carrow Road in the featured game of today's episode, and you'll also see highlights of our trip to St James's Park later, but first our trip to the Amex to take on Brighton and Hove Albion. Before we get into those games though, there are a couple of pieces of business that we need to attend to, the first of which is the closure of the summer transfer window. After paying $6 million for Lewis O'Brien and $5.5 million for Patrick Pfeiffer, we have just a little over $7 million left in our transfer budget for the remainder of the season, and it would be a good idea to hold on to as much of that as possible since we do have $16 million earmarked for the buy option of Armando Broja. We have received a very interesting offer ourselves as Bournemouth come in with $6 million for Adam Eder. As anticipated, Buzzco's realistic selling calculator does tell us that we can reject the offer, but at the same time, it tells us we could get $8.25 million for Adam Eder if we were to negotiate with Bournemouth. Bournemouth have also sold Dominic Solanke to Torino, so Eder's only real rival for playing time at Bournemouth would be their fellow new signing Eddie Nketiah. However, we should be playing 2 up front a lot more often this season, so whilst Eder might not be a true starter behind Sargent and Broja, he should have plenty of opportunities for playing time here at Carrow Road as well. Plus, I know a lot of you guys in the comments have been saying how much you like Adam Eder and how much you want to see what kind of player he can grow into. So I think we will reject this one, even though we certainly could use the money. But fortunately, no offers for Josh Sargent, no offers for Borja Sainz, no offers even for Johnny Rowe. And transfer deadline day does tick away. Dayot Upamecano did complete his $60 million move to Newcastle, and João Cancelo completed a similarly priced move also on deadline day to West Ham. Those weren't the biggest deals of the window by a long shot though. Pedri joins Inter Milan for a massive $140 million. There actually weren't a huge amount of transfers that stand out beyond that, whether they are high profile names or particularly unrealistic ones. One that does stand out is Darwin Núñez from Liverpool to Arsenal for $75 million. But Alexander Isak made the move from Newcastle to Spurs, and it looks like West Ham are going all in, adding not only João Cancelo but Casemiro and Nicolas Söler as well. We did of course see Marc Cucurella at left back for Bournemouth in our opening game of the season, and we may well see Adam Isak's replacement later in today's episode as Adam Hložek joins Newcastle for a fee in the region of just £28 million. So with the squad now set, the final piece of business that we have to attend to before we really get into the season is our custom objectives. We set ourselves 5 custom objectives last season to go along with our board objectives, and we did manage to achieve all 5. So we're starting with a fresh slate again this season, and again I'm going to be needing your help to fill them out. For now, I've given ourselves a youth development target and a domestic success target. And again, like last year, if we achieve these objectives, we get a reward. If we fail these objectives, we have to punish ourselves in some way. So this season's youth development objective will simply be to sign a youth prospect with 85 plus potential. Since we achieved our youth development objective last year, that meant we could hire a 5-star scout for the first time. We did unlock the special one trait through Buzzco's core DNA skill tree. So that should give us a chance of achieving that objective. If we do, we can improve another youth scout by 1 star. If we can't, we have to release 2 random youth players from the academy. As for our domestic success objective, we need to beat one of the big 5 in the Premier League. So that's Manchester City, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, or Chelsea. If we manage to do that, we can choose one promising young player from the club that we beat and sign them on a loan to buy deal. However, if we fail, all of our new signings in the next transfer window must be from foreign clubs. So let me know in the comments below what you think our targets should be for this season. We need not only a target, but we need that reward and that punishment as well. And we need 3 additional objectives. 1 player target, so goals scored, assists per season, something like that. We need a financial target, and we need a fan experience target, something to get the home fans in particular excited. We will, of course, also be trying to achieve the regular board objectives along the way, which are to avoid relegation and within 2 seasons finish mid-table in the Premier League. They also want us to increase our club worth by 30%. They want us to play some young players. They want us to get 15 games with at least 1 goal scored in the league as well. But with all that being said, we are finally ready to get into our games for today's episode, and we will continue to line up in our 4-4-2 formation as we travel down to the south coast to visit Brighton at the Amex. Jose Cordoba and Jacob Sorensen come into the starting lineup, but beyond those 2 changes, the 11 pretty much remains the one that got us off to such a good start in episode 1. And it looked as though our dream start in the Premier League might continue early. Josh Sargent getting a sight of goal within 10 minutes. Unfortunately, he put the shot from just outside the area, slightly wide of Bart Verbruggen's post. And just 2 minutes later, Brighton would have their first true sight of goal as well. Matoma, however, made no mistake. It was a perfectly placed finish. Jason Steele came out to try and smother. Matoma just lifted it over the top of him. It was a decent enough effort from Steele, and it was an even better effort when João Pedro broke through on goal 20 minutes into the game. Steele came up trumps in this encounter. We continued to test Verbruggen in the Brighton goal though, and he came up with an incredible save from Jacob Sorensen. Josh Sargent laid the ball off. Sorensen pushed the ball towards the far corner. Verbruggen got away low and to his right, and it was a battle between the 2 goalkeepers, each trying to outdo the other. Spectacular saves at both ends of the field. Jason Steele keeping us just a goal behind from Matoma's shot. Verbruggen actually saved a penalty from Josh Sargent in the first half as well that would have given us an equalising goal. And he continued to perform well into the second half, parrying away Liam Gibbs' long-range effort. And after a back-and-forth affair, Brighton finally took true control in the game. João Pedro tucking the ball neatly away after a couple of well-worked passes on the edge of the box. What you don't see is, just before this, the incredible block from Patrick Pfeiffer. After getting a show of faith from manager Johannes Thorup, Adam Eder came on and looked bright. He had a really good opportunity to get us back into the game late on. Took it down on his chest, fired into the side netting rather than across Verbruggen with his left foot. Tieno Ballo also came on down the right-hand side and also looked bright, picking out Josh Sargent from the right-hand side, but his header for once was unfortunately wide. Sargent did manage to get a header on target when Marius Wolf picked him out just moments later, but Verbruggen was again equal to it, and he would make one final save to keep the scoreline 2-0 deep into injury time. Tieno Ballo cutting in off that right-hand side this time, getting a shot away, but it wasn't a great one. Parried over fairly easily. So we said things were probably going to get a lot more difficult in this episode, and that has proven to be the case. The Amex is a difficult place to go. Brighton for a while now have been a resilient, well-organised, difficult to break down team. They enjoyed a lot of possession in the game, but we did put in a decent enough performance. We created opportunities. We went toe-to-toe with Brighton, and on another day, maybe we would have come away with a point. And our second Carabao Cup match has been scheduled, but not until the 1st of October, so that does give us a 2-week layoff ahead of our next game against Liverpool. We saw earlier in the episode that Darwin Núñez has joined Arsenal, but Liverpool have replaced him with Oyarzabal. Gakpo and Salah remain. Coop Miners has been added to midfield, and he'll start alongside McAllister and Szoboszlai, whilst Balde and Calabria will start at fullback. As for Johannes Thorup's 11, it is 4-4-2 once more. Wesley Hoyt comes back into the starting lineup, as does Liam Gibbs. Otherwise, the 11 remains unchanged from Brighton. So without further ado, let's head over to Carrow Road for our toughest test of the series so far by a long shot. So we are up in the commentary box at Carrow Road, where we saw a couple of fantastic performances and results in the last episode. It is going to be much, much tougher to get one here today against Liverpool. It is a a gloomy, miserable day here in East Anglia. I'm hoping that's not a sign of what's to come. Hopefully that's not an omen. As Liverpool look to press early, Mo Salah finds Cody Gakpo. Harry Toffolo forces it into a central area where Szoboszlai gets a shot away. Jason Steele already forced into a save. Saw a number of very good saves from Jason Steele in the last game against Brighton. Wasn't enough to give us anything from the game though. Sargent beaten. Marius Wolf not. Can't find Lewis O'Brien for a quick counter-attack though. Well in Sargent. O'Brien with a second opportunity to play a ball in behind for Sargent. But it's going to take more than that to beat Van Dijk, who finds Balde on the left-hand side. A new signing for Liverpool. A number of interesting ones after the departure of Darwin Núñez. They've brought in a couple of right-backs. Not only Calabria, who is on the ball now, but Ricardo Pereira as well. Oyarzabal starts on the left-hand side for them today. Luis Diaz finds a place on the bench. And Koopmeiners, an interesting addition in midfield too. As we could have a quick counter-attack on here with Borja Sainz. If Calabria wasn't completely taking him out of the play though. Sargent can't beat Konate. Sainz on the ball, however. Sloppy from Liverpool. Promising for Norwich. But we do just have to go backwards. I've been thinking a lot in recent days about the tactics that we are going to employ this season. I said Johnny Rowe delivers. It's into a good area. Alisson comes to claim though. I said in the last episode, I'm not sure that we need to move away from the tiki-taka tactical vision. But I think we do. And I think we need to transition to wing play. I think that's going to give us the best balance and the most flexibility this season. Because we used tactical vision in episode 1. Great ball from Steele out to Sainz. Konate again coming across to deal with it excellently. Reacted really well. Liverpool with Mo Salah looking to cause issues once more. We've defended relatively robustly in these opening moments of the game though. Borja Sainz back, trying to do the same again. And Jason Steele collects. So we used tiki-taka to some success in episode 1. Really good run from Broja. Plays it in behind for Marius Wolf, who I believe is onside. Broja once more. Liam Gibbs on the edge of the box, gets the shot away, easily blocked. Recycled by Sargent though, and into the back post for Borja Sainz. What a save! And Alisson hooks clear. What an opportunity. We may not have many in the game. We almost certainly won't have as many as clear-cut as that. But an incredible save from Alisson to deal with the shot from Borja Sainz at the back post. But that's exactly the approach that we need to take in this game. Quick counter-attacks, exploit down the wing, look for targets in the box. Oh my God. Welcome to the Premier League, I guess. We never saw anything even close to that in the Championship last season. What a finish from Mo Salah. Look at the bend on that. Jason Steele literally sprinting towards his back post. Still can't get there. And that is the difference between the Championship and the Premier League. Absolute quality from Salah. I don't even know what to say about that. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just going to happen at this level. What an incredible finish. That's one of the best goals I think I've seen all year on FC 24 from a CPU team. Oyarzabal. Good challenge, Marius Wolf. We need to try and stem the bleeding here a little bit, which Jason Steele manages to do. I need to get back to explaining my thoughts about the tactics at some point as well. The game has been too action-packed to really get a word in about the tactics. As Liverpool get a free kick for some reason. I assumed it was our free kick, but the referee pointed the other way. But I think wing play is going to be the way to go tactics-wise. I thought about going kick and rush because that's going to be the way that we want to play with this particular system. Want to play very direct with, you know, long balls in behind for the likes of Sargent and Broha to chase. However, when we're playing against the likes of Bournemouth, Wolves, Brentford, 2-0, Gakpo this time. Another good goal. When we are playing against the likes of Brentford, Wolves, Bournemouth, we can afford to play on the ball a little bit more often. So if we ship out all of our coaching staff who have tiki-taka and ship in a bunch of kick and rush staff instead, then we're not going to be able to play in possession when we are against teams who are on in a similar tier to, I would say. We're not going to have anywhere near as much possession against teams like Brighton, Liverpool, Newcastle, like we'll see in today's episode and like we're seeing in this particular game. So then we'll want to take a more direct approach. Tiki-taka locks you into short passing. Kick and rush locks you in to longer, more direct passing. If we go wing play, however, then we can modify our approach in terms of how much possession we want to try and control in each game, how direct we want to be in each game. Great save, Jason Steele. And then against teams that we should be able to compete with a little more evenly, then we can play shorter, more possession-based football. Against teams that we're going to have to sit back against, then we can play more direct. And wing play will allow us to do that since there are less restrictions in terms of, you know, the build-up, the chance creation, that kind of thing. The restrictions with wing play are obviously to do with your offensive width. And we want to stay wide regardless. It's going to be a Norwich City, I think, free kick. So whether we are playing short, whether we are playing more direct, we will want to play wide. So wing play is going to work in that regard. So I think what I'll do is, over the course of the next couple of episodes, when new coaches become available to hire... Oh, Patrick Pfeiffer just couldn't get the pass away quick enough, and we're going to be caught short at the back here now. Two good runs up ahead from Liam Gibbs and from Armando Broha. Fortunately, we are back in some kind of defensive shape, though. So I think as coaches become available to hire over the course of the next couple of episodes, we will gradually move from tiki-taka over to wing play. So that's going to be the plan. The plan for today is, first, don't concede another goal. We've already conceded 2. We can't afford to concede a third. There's way too much on that. Really good run from Josh Sargent. Too much on it from Liam Gibbs, though. If we concede a third, the game is over. If we score next, we're back in it. It's all to play for in the remaining minutes of the game, however many that might be. Ambitious pass. Steele just lets it bounce. And he spots Johnny Rowe on this right-hand side. Finds him. Johnny Rowe brings it down on his chest. Good run from Armando Broha. We couldn't find him initially, but he did manage to get back on side. Sights at the back post. Hits it on the half volley and gets it all wrong. I don't even know what happened there. Just snatched at it, skewed it, shanked it with his left foot. But we've had 2 fantastic opportunities at the back post with Borja Sainz. That one he got all wrong. The first one he got exactly right, and Alisson just pulled off an incredible save. Mo Salah, well worked with Szoboszlai. Look at the passing. Beautiful from Liverpool. Cheeky. Salah saw that far corner open up again and his eyes widened. Johnny Rowe finds Marius Wolf on the overlap. Josh Sargent backed off, made the run, backed off. Potentially would have been offside. I'm guessing that's why he ran back. Wesley Hoyt wins the header. Can't find Liam Gibbs. Coop Miners. Sargent back in a defensive position. Cody Gakpo. Good strike. It was from pretty far out though, and it was a comfortable save for Jason Steele in the end, as Josh Sargent heads away from the corner. Konate. Good save again, Jason Steele. And Marius Wolf, I was going to say keeps it in, almost kept it in. Steele's been such a good goalkeeper for us. I think we're going to have to be careful of Van Dijk here. And hooked clear by Wesley Hoyt. And what is this? A Norwich City free kick, I think. As we see our final opponents of the episode, Newcastle. It's very much looking like we're going to have to do all we can to avoid defeat in that game, so that we don't make it 3 defeats in 3 in today's episode. And we can't get anything going. We cannot get anything going. Can't string 2 passes together. We've defended fairly well in this first half, to be fair. We haven't been spectacular by any means, but Mo Salah's goal was just absolutely world class. And perhaps we could have done slightly better on the second goal. But really, it's been going forward where we've struggled the most. We've had a couple of decent enough opportunities created down the flanks. Liverpool just move the ball so much quicker than any championship side ever did. And there goes the referee's half-time whistle. Really, really tough first half. Liverpool completely dominated. And look at that. Look at the goal. It's half across the post. It was tucked so neatly into the far corner. That's what Mo Salah can do. Thank you for checking out this episode of our realistic Norwich City career mode. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're approaching the end of the FC24 cycle now, but there'll be plenty more content to come with the release of FC25, including 12th man memberships. If you want to get more involved with the channel, check out the membership tiers on my homepage. Memberships start at less than £2 per month and come with a whole host of benefits and rewards, including you being able to feature in my career mode saves. We'll be starting a road to glory with a created club as soon as FC25 drops. So if you want to be included in the save or even feature in our starting 11, become a 12th man member of the channel today. 12th man members also get exclusive early access to all of my videos, not only my career mode series, but also my realistic slider sets and everything else in between. If you want more information about exactly what each tier involves, be sure to check out this video on my homepage. If memberships aren't for you, you can also join the public area of my Discord server, or just keep watching and enjoying the content for free right here on YouTube. As always, I appreciate all of your encouragement and support. Now, let's get back to the video. So we are going to have a go in this second half. We are only 2-0 down. As much as Liverpool dominated in the first period, the game is certainly still up for grabs. You know, we could realistically take a point from this game. The chances that that happens are pretty remote, but they are not zero by any means. So one change at half-time. I mean, we will need to win the ball back at some point if we are going to do that. One change at half-time. Liam Gibbs off, Tieno Ballo on. So Tieno Ballo has come on in centre midfield. So a kind of true number 10 in alongside Lewis O'Brien to try and create a little bit more for Broha and Sargent up ahead of him. We are going to be a bit more exposed defensively with only the one, you know, defensive box-to-box kind of midfielder in the centre. Good challenge. Wesley Hoyt can't get to the second ball. But if we are going to get back in this game, it's not going to be, you know, thanks to our defending. We need to create some opportunities. We need to make something happen. Josh Sargent potentially has got that underway with Tiano Ballo now. Big switch of players on to Marius Wolf. Patrick Pfeiffer. Lewis O'Brien once more. Gives the ball away. Really poor. It's just so difficult to find space in the centre of midfield. Johnny Rowe has been less than impressive so far this season. Good save, Jason Steele. And Tiano Ballo potentially should be starting on the right-hand side today. Lewis O'Brien can't get there. Konate's just so fast. So fast. But we really do need to decide what to do with Johnny Rowe. Mo Salah, good save. Jason Steele. And I think it's going to be a free kick. We really do need to decide what to do with Johnny Rowe. He's in the last year of his deal. We didn't receive any offers for him in January. But that doesn't mean we won't receive any in January, in the summer. That doesn't mean we won't receive any ahead of January. So we really need to decide, are we holding on to Johnny Rowe long term and we're offering him a new contract? Or are we going to be looking to ship him off in January? Cutting inside off that right-hand side, Johnny Rowe, but can't make anything happen. And I believe he may be subject to a Bosman ruling. It's going to be a penalty. It's going to be such a soft penalty. Patrick Pfeiffer gives it. How can that possibly be a penalty? Patrick Pfeiffer's just stood there, and Cody Gakpo's bounced off him. It's not his. It's not Patrick Pfeiffer's fault that he's 6'5" and built. Mo Salah to make it 3. Of course he does. That's an absolutely outrageous penalty decision. And I can't complain too much because we did receive a soft one in the Brighton game. You didn't see it in the highlights, but I did mention it. I don't know why it didn't show up in a highlight. You would have thought that a penalty save would be, you know, a pretty key event in the game. But we got a very soft penalty. Josh Sargent missed it. Well, Verbruggen saved it, actually. An equally soft one for Liverpool. And our dream start here in the Premier League is quickly turning into something of a nightmare. Not least because Borja Sainz has now picked up a knock. Good run, Sargent. Good ball in behind from Borja Sainz. Can't quite find Sargent. And with half an hour to go, we are 3-0 down. We said the next goal is going to be an important one. If we grab it, we are right back in it. If Liverpool grab it, it's game over. And it very much feels like game over now. I mean, we'll keep pressing, we'll keep going, but the chances of getting anything from this game, even a point, are, you know, they are all but 0. They might as well be 0. We'll make a couple more changes, though. We'll bring Adam Eder on for a run out. We will bring Jacob Sorensen on. He's not best pleased at the moment. I think more so with his contract than with his play time. He did, I believe, get a slight, good save, pay increase heading into Season 2. I gave the vast majority of players about a 10 to 15% pay increase. Half the team are still unhappy with their contracts, though, so I'm not really sure what they want me to do about that. Good save, Jason Steele. Hooked away, Harry Toffolo. And we just can't get out of our final third now. Sargent will come off as well. I'm not sure why, but he's a little less than match fit. Oh, God, what a move. What a move. And we're just being torn apart. Beautiful one-touch football. Gakpo grabs another. 4 now for Liverpool. And boos ring out around Carrow Road. But, I mean, if anybody in the crowd wants to step onto the pitch and try and do any better, they are more than welcome to. Liverpool just front to back, stacked with top talent. Gakpo will come off for Diogo Jota. We'll make a couple of changes too now as well. So it's going to be 2 changes. Josh Sargent, it's going to be 3 actually. Josh Sargent, Johnny Rowe and Armando Broja all off. Adam Eder comes on up front. Jacob Sorensen comes on in centre midfield. And Callum Chambers actually comes on to play centre back. So we're going to go 5 at the back for these last 20-25 minutes or so. We are going to concede defeat and just sit in our ultra defensive game plan for the last 20-25 minutes. Try and keep things, you know, we don't want it to get too out of hand, basically. How is there not a free kick in there? How is there not a free kick? Lewis O'Brien continues to press. He's got 91 stamina, which is just outrageous. I think if he stays healthy in terms of no injuries, he could well play every minute of every game for us this season. In the Premier League anyway. Maybe not in the Cups. Steele looking for Ballo. Drops a nice ball in behind. Balde deals with it well though. Nicely worked again from Liverpool by Azabal on the left-hand side. Really good challenge from Marius Wolf. And Ciano Ballo can come away on our right-hand side. Jacob Sorensen bursts through. Not much pace, but he does have the strength to hold off the Liverpool defender. And the composure to finish. Mo Salah who? Take a seat, Mo Salah. Jacob Sorensen. I mean, it doesn't quite match up to Mo Salah's goal, but it's not bad at all. That, I think, might be his first goal in the series. It's certainly the first goal that I've scored with him. I don't remember if he scored at all in simulated games. But if that is his first goal of the season, what a first goal to grab. Oh, so nice. Just under the crossbar. And we said we just want to avoid making it too embarrassing. Make sure things don't, you know, get too out of control. And we've actually grabbed a goal back in our ultra defensive game plan. So at least something for the home fans to cheer about. Even if it's not much. I imagine most home fans came into the game fully expecting to lose. So at least they're not going to be... Oh, God, O'Brien. At least they're not going to be too disappointed. And at least they do have a good goal to remember and to take away from the game. Really good from Wesley Hoyt. Finds Harry Toffolo. Maybe we can grab a second goal. Ciano Ballo on that far side needed to make a run. And that's exactly why I do think we need to change from the tiki-taka. If we had our build-up players as direct passing, long ball, that kind of thing, we would have, or even forward runs, we would have players immediately looking to get in behind in those kinds of situations. But because we're on tiki-taka and it's short passing, it's slow build-up, we just have players kind of holding their positions. And we want that at times. We wanted that in episode 1 against Bournemouth. Really good challenge, Jacob Sorensen. Finds Lewis O'Brien. Borja Sainz. Where's Harry Toffolo on the overlap? There he is eventually. Borja Sainz with a good run, but we want Adam Eder through the middle. We get Adam Eder through the middle. Not quite. It's going to take more than that to beat Alisson. Decent enough effort. One thing about this team is we do keep going till the very end. We saw that in episode 1 against Bournemouth too. It was a late winner. What was it? Like 94.5 minutes into the game. Sargent scored the winner. And we saw that multiple times last season as well. Late goals. Late winners more often than not as well. Interesting ball. I mean, it works. It finds Van Dijk. Lewis O'Brien challenging McAllister. Winning the ball from McAllister. Adam Eder finds the run of Borja Sainz. Can't quite find the man, though. I mean, we're actually looking all right in our ultra-defensive game plan. I definitely think a change in tactics is needed. I don't think we're set up defensive enough in our 4-4-2 as currently constructed. Decent enough ball from Steele. Can't quite find Borja Sainz, though. But heads haven't dropped. We were 4-0 down. We could have allowed our heads to drop. We could have stopped playing. But 3 minutes from time and 3 goals down. We are still having a go at Liverpool here. Wesley Hoyt finds Patrick Pfeiffer. Just about. Jacob Sorensen. What a second half he's had. Tiano Ballo in behind is going to be offside now. Couldn't quite time it right. And he is offside. Unfortunate. Would have been nice to grab a second goal in the game as Oyarzabal makes way for Luis Diaz. It's been relatively quiet, Oyarzabal, to be fair. He is on, or he was on Liverpool's left, which is, of course, Marius Wolf's side for us. And he has been so good for us in this series. Salah, good save. Good save, Jason Steele. A lot of you guys have been singing the praises of Marius Wolf as well. He seems to be a bit of a favourite in the comments section. Alongside, of course, Josh Sargent and Adam Eder, surprisingly. One of the reasons why I rejected that Bournemouth offer earlier, because we certainly could have used 8 million. And it certainly would have been a realistic transfer. Especially with Bournemouth selling Dominic Solanke. Because Adam Eder likely would have played a decent amount for Bournemouth, but he should play a decent amount for us this season. And that seems like something you guys want to see, so we'll try and get him on the field as much as possible, develop him as much as possible. But the final whistle does go, and it is a 4-1 defeat. Not the best performance by any means. Better in the second half than in the first. But not a terrible performance either. I don't think we can feel too hard done by. A couple of moments of quality from Liverpool. A soft penalty. 4-1 against one of the best teams in the country. I don't think we should feel too badly about that one at all. So we did have our first opportunity to knock off that custom objective of beating one of the big 5 in Liverpool, but failed to achieve that objective. It's always frustrating when you feel like you can't get a foothold in the game, but against teams like Liverpool, like Newcastle coming up, that's to be expected. And I mentioned during the Liverpool game that Jacob Sorensen received a pay rise. He actually didn't. He's in the last year of his deal, and he wants an important squad role. This was the hiccup in the summer. We just can't offer him an important squad role. Rotation I would be happy to give, but this is why Jacob Sorensen is so unhappy at the moment. So Sorensen will get the start in our third and final game of the episode as we do change our shape to take on Newcastle. So it'll be 3 at the back for this one. Chambers, Pfeiffer and Hoyt. Whilst Tiano Ballo comes in alongside Borja Sainz to support Josh Sargent up front. We were under the cosh again in the first half in this one, but as we did against Liverpool, we defended well. Jason Steele put in a good performance between the sticks. Anthony Gordon caused us all kinds of issues down the left-hand side, though. Harvey Barnes on the right was trouble at times. But we did manage to hold Newcastle at bay, and we did create a handful of opportunities on the quick counter-attack of our own. Christian Medina started in midfield too. He was a player that we had our eye on, and you could see why. He pulled the strings in midfield alongside Bruno Guimaraes. But despite managing to hold on for over an hour, we did eventually gift Newcastle the lead by giving away a penalty. The decision against Liverpool was soft. This one certainly wasn't. As soon as I pressed the X button, I knew I'd made a mistake. And we said against Liverpool, we didn't let our heads drop when we went behind. In this game, we certainly did. We absolutely fell apart after Newcastle opened the scoring. All the momentum we had built in the game, all the life we had in the team was completely sucked out of us. And Newcastle would go on to score another 4 goals. Christian Medina putting the icing on the cake late in the game. So despite a decent enough first half performance, we concede 4 goals for a second consecutive game. And today's episode just shows the importance of playing good football for 90 minutes rather than 45, rather than 60, especially at this level. So after 3 straight wins in our opening episode propelled us to first place in the Premier League, we finish episode 2 all the way down in 11th. We have a bit of an opportunity to bounce back in the next episode as we take on newly promoted Burnley and Sunderland in the Carabao Cup, but we will also have to face Aston Villa away from home and Manchester United at Carrow Road. So the honeymoon period is well and truly over, but this is exactly what we signed up for. If you want to play football at the highest level, you have to play the best teams. If you want to play the best teams, you're going to be on the end of some difficult results, but we will try and avoid more of those difficult results in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.